This video documentary has been created as a part of coursework for consumer behavior module. It includes analysis of alcohol, Johnnie Walker, and consumer attitudes towards them. All the findings related to alcohol, market trends, hedonic consumption, positive and negative reinforcements, and harmful effects are entirely based on secondary research. This documentary does not intend to harm any particular brand's reputation and does not encourage or discourage alcohol consumption in any way. Starting from origin of alcohol, this documentary will highlight some of the current market trends, how alcohol become popular, background of Johnnie Walker, consumer attitudes and motivation to the hedonic consumption, rising health concerns for young adults, some of the government regulations, opportunities, conclusion, and self reflection. Some of the theories included in this documentary are ABC model, motivation conflicts, involvement pathway and involvement paradox, positive and negative reinforcement action of theory, and theory of memory processing. The world's first alcoholic beverage was a fermented mixture of rice, honey, hawthorn fruit, and of grapes according to current chemical test. Nowadays, alcohol is considered as a drug. However, 10 million years ago, the smell of fermentation was a clue that fruit was ripe and its highest caloric content. In the 18th century, the British Parliament established a statute encouraging the use of grain for spirit distillation. The market for inexpensive spirits flooded and peaked in the middle of the 18th century. Alcohol consumption in Britain reached 18 million gallons and drunkenness spread like wildfire. I choose this topic because there is something that I personally relate to. I have consumed alcohol when I didn't feel good because of peer pressure or with daily to daily stress. I consumed alcohol even there is no need of it. That's why I want to analyze and highlight the different types of consumption behavior by this theory. Now the question arises why people attracted towards alcohol. So it's an interesting question to answer.
Alcohol's intoxicating effects are due to its role on the human central nervous system. Moderate amounts of alcohol trigger the release of neurochemicals such as dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins in the brain. This decreases anxiety, increases happiness, and depresses the brain's inhibitory activities.
I choose Johnnie Walker, which comes in whiskey, contains 40% to 50% alcohol by content. However, the real reason for Johnnie Walker is successful leading marketing. Johnnie Walker, the world's number one Scotch whiskey, understands the attitude of customers. The brand wants to inspire people to keep walking towards a positive future with the latest chapter in its iconic global campaign.
Walk on the wild side. walk all over you. She told me to walk this way. She told me to. These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you. Walk this way. Walk this way. Like this. Come on, boots.
In 2018, revenue generated from Johnnie Walker is $2.77 billion throughout the globe. The sales grew and reach is $9.33 billion in year 2022. In 2022, revenue generated by the brand Daigou of Johnnie Walker is maximum in US market, that is 38%, while Shiva's brother is 20%. Famous Grouse whiskey is on third position with almost 4% of share. As a world leader in Scotch whisky industry, Johnnie Walker users in USA is 2.5 million, while of Famous Grouse in UK, the number of users is 2.1 million. As a world leader in Scotch whisky industry, Johnnie Walker users in USA is 2.5 million, while of Famous Grouse in UK, the number of users is 2.1 million. In USA, alcohol drinking among adults is increasing day by day. In the year 2022, 5.1% of whole population consumes alcohol daily, while 15.5% people intake drink as a moderate weekly level. Otherwise, 45.7% adults ingest liquor at a lighter weekly basis. Consumer attitude towards a brand is a powerful tool. It tells us about the consumer feelings, whether it is favorable or it is unfavorable. Some of the factors developing consumer attitude towards product are taste, stimulating effect, popularity, affordability, negative effects. Now let's talk about taste. If you have to pick out of Johnnie Walker and Famous Grouse, which one will be your choice? If you feel some difficulty to choose, you like both, but you have to choose one, then it proves that your attitude towards the brand is positive. Alex has ranked the Hakashu 12-year less as compared to Johnnie Walker because of its taste. If his choice is Johnnie Walker, then the brand Daigou done its part so nicely in making their product stand out in market share. Now let's talk about taste. If you have to pick out of Johnnie Walker and Famous Grouse, which one will be your choice? If you feel some difficulty to choose, you like both, but you have to choose one. And such famous brands trying to place their product on evoked set. Now question arises, what is evoked set? Evoked set is something which shows the popularity of brand. When consumer evoke to consume something, for example, if he wants to grab a alcohol, then first name will come to his mind, that is Johnnie Walker. So Johnnie Walker is evoked set and Hakashu is inept set. In 2017, Opinions and Lifestyle Survey Office for National Statistics state that the generally higher levels of binge drinking among those aged 16 to 25 years old, due to the data capturing those who tend to drink excessively on Friday and Saturday nights, and then not much else during the rest of the week. And primary motivation of their consumption is peer pressure and wanting to show off in front of friends can be major factors in contributing to drinking for the first time. The ABC model highlights the segmentation of people in market. In case of high segmentation of people of age 18 to 29 years of age, the belief comes first. Based on cognitive information processing, here comes attitude, which is alcohol. Belief leads to behavior action when user made a purchase and then it is followed by affect where consumer satisfy its needs and reach to an equilibrium and satisfy its desire with an intent outcome. This type of consumption develops mindful and harmonious type of consumption. But in case of adolescents, affect comes first, which promotes the feeling emotionally, socially, educationally, and physically. The behavioral action leads to purchase, and then belief comes last because they bought it with irrespective of consequences. This motivation develops with hedonic consumption. According to National Center for Drug Abuse Statistics, most American adults consume alcohol at least once in their lifetime. Among them, 6.7% will develop alcohol use disorder. 141,000 Americans die from the effects of alcohol in an average year. 10% of Americans over the age of 12 have alcohol use disorder, and 60% of Americans increased their alcohol consumption during COVID-19 lockdowns. According to National Center for Drug Abuse Statistics, alcoholic liver disease is the leading killer, causing 19.1% of all alcohol related deaths. 53.7% of alcohol related deaths are due to chronic misuse. Every year, harmful use of alcohol is responsible for 3 million deaths and 5% of the global health burden, from road traffic injuries to violence, abuse, and neglect, to disease like liver cirrhosis, heart disease, cancers, and tuberculosis, to mental health issues like alcohol dependence, depression, and suicide just because of addiction of alcohol. There are many restrictions of alcohol, like Parliament stops alcohol sales after 10 pm. Indian Supreme Court uphold alcohol ban in Kerala, while in this year, Qatar also banned to sell the alcohol in the World Cup stadiums. Study participant alcohol consumption asked on report that how many drinks they usually consumed per drinking occasion as individual factor. 40% of people said that they consume alcohol just to cope up with stress, while 30% of people consumed just to sleep down at night so that they can go back again to their work to the next day. As in social factor, 45% of people said that they consume alcohol with friends in club for hedonic enjoyment, while some people said that they open a bottle of champagne just to start the celebration, either it is marriage or it is a birthday party. As environmental factor, 60% of people believe that in cold countries like UK, consuming alcohol is very necessary just to keep their body warm. While answering the questionnaire surveys about Netflix and the research published in the September issue of the General Studies on Alcohol and Drugs, adds that the evidence linking alcohol advertising to underage drinking. Student purchases the alcohol by influenced with celebrity endorsements and the advertisement on television, even though they do only want to take a sip of it. And this is how are using the involvement pathway to influence the younger generation and increase their involvement with brands. Starting with object or stimulus factor like differentiation of alternatives, source of communication, and content of communication, most brands take pathways through advertisements. In this case, brand performing operant conditioning as positive reinforcement in tangible rewards. The end goal of brand is to induce purchase. Advertising influences people by altering what they think or feel about a product and encouraging them to purchase it. Here is some advertisement of Johnnie Walker. Despite this diversity, most research has focused on two broad categories of motivation. In 1960, Mulford and Miller state that the first category revolves around drinking for negative reinforcement or what called personal effect motives. This motive has been labeled drinking to cope and is usually defined as the tendency to use alcohol to escape, avoid, or regulate unpleasant emotions. The second category revolves around drinking for positive reinforcement or what called social effect motives. This drinking motive has been labeled drinking to be sociable and encompasses drinking to be convivial, to celebrate social occasions, and to have a good time with others. My first recommendation is awareness campaigns conducted by WHO World Health Organization to reduce the harmful use of alcohol and to prohibit the consumption of alcohol under the age of 18 years. My second recommendation is the Advertising Standards Authority ASA and the Committee of Advertising Practice CAP is responsible for writing the advertisement codes. They respond to concerns and complaints from consumers and business and take action to ban ads which are misleading, harmful, offensive, or irresponsible. To conclude, alcoholism industry is growing at a rapid rate and is not limited to a single consumer segment. Attitudes and motivations of the society toward alcoholism also varies with each segment. Hence, brands should bring harmony in their product consumption but not encouraging and advertising to the unsuitable segment of those under the age of 18. I can't believe I have made it this video. It seems like yesterday Miss Claire and Mr. Bal introduced me to the consumer behavior subject and here I am making the video documentary for this module. Creating a video is not a cup of tea because it's my first ever experience. Firstly, I understand about all of the theories in deep and then try to interpret with my product that is Johnnie Walker. My role in this documentary was to analyze customer attitudes and motivations towards alcohol, address and apply consumer behavior theories, and portray not only market trends but try to understand the consumer point of view as well. Rather than that, I learned how to use Canva, editing techniques, sound recording, file formats, self shooting, editing skills, different types of shoots, and so much more during the past 3 months. The course was very practical learning through doing. This is the documentary I made on course. As we had little time, it is very rough, but that's okay because this was a practice documentary. Now, I have been able to use this learning in my daily life. I have used the ABC model to support my work while doing research. I found that process of affect, behavior and cognition is different for the different segmentation of people. I tried to trigger evoke set by putting some pictures and I asked them, can I pick one? I also used the memory processing theory of Johnnie Walker by giving an example. I also explained the positive and negative reinforcement action of theory and then discuss how brands target their customers through channels like advertisements. My understanding is not limited to the theories, but by studying this module, I can able to implement the theories in my daily life as well. Now, just look at this brand, Ray-Ban. This is a part of a consumer culture because I prefer this overly priced branded sunglasses. I was not aware it before that, but when I read this module, then I came to know that overly priced brand it means people believe that high price means high quality. It means a good